where the team leaders feel that, you know, they're continually being questioned, second guessed by their subordinates.
My boss knows more about my team than I do.
Yeah, that's not good.
And it's generally a fallacy to say, well, I'm involved in their annual review or their salary determination, so therefore I want to be involved, because generally a couple of people up the chain of command are going to be involved in the salary decisions. Even at the middle upper levels, it's not one person above that gets to make the final choice. So it's the person who actually writes the annual review, I think, is where we start with who should be doing it. And if you ask Mike, let's say Mike in this situation reports to Mark, if Mike would say, yeah, Mark's my boss, then Mark is the one that Mike should be having a one-on-one with. If Mark reports to Greg may want to, but generally we say, no, let Mike and Mark do the one-on-one. And then the last question he asked was, you know, sometimes we hire consultants or contractors before we staff up and go full-time with somebody. Should I have one-on-ones with them? The answer to that is yes as well. If they contribute to your team's success, yes, you want to have one-on-ones with them. Sometimes we can get away with doing those every other week, although if they're sitting right alongside my team and they're doing essentially the same work and they're as critical as anybody else, I would say do it as often as the people in your direct who are employees, with an exception that because you usually wouldn't talk about their future careers with them, I would go ahead and make the half hour 15 minutes for them and then 15 minutes for you. And it would be much more project and work focused. You still want to know their kids' names, you still want to get to know them, but it's a little bit different because, of course, you're not talking about their 5-year career plan and how you can develop it and what kind of resources are available in the company to help them grow their career.
Right, and you'll want to be cognizant of treating your contractors different than your employees. I'll go back to the Microsoft suit. So there's some things that you'd want to treat employees different than contractors, but I wouldn't use this to make that distinction.
Exactly.
As long as you want focus and you want performance from these folks, you're going to have to give them feedback just like you would employees.
As an external contractor, I am amazed at how many times I'm working with 3 or 4 other people, facilitating them, leveraging them, they're leveraging me and my background and so on, and the boss is me with them and not with me. And